We want to share a warning. Obviously, we're going to be taking you through a very live demonstration, and our crews in the field will be doing their very best to avoid showing anything that could be considered offensive. All right, now with that said, KHOU 11's Orko Mana is live at the City Hall, our City Hall, I should say, where protesters will be marching in the coming hours. And Orko, how are things looking out there right now? It looks very busy and packed behind you right now.
Yeah, Tracy, we've been here for just over an hour, and I can tell you the crowd has grown even from the last time that we spoke to you about an hour ago. Thousands of people are here outside of Houston City Hall for this No Kings protest. If we walk this way, you can see all of the people out here. Just take a look behind me. This is the area right in front of City Hall where a lot of people have gathered with their signs, with their costumes, protesting what they call Donald Trump's presidency. What they call is an authoritarian regime. Now, again, you can see a lot of folks here walking throughout the plaza carrying their signs. We see a lot of signs saying No Kings, which again is a symbol of this event, which is talking about what these people are saying. Trump is acting like a king, hearkening back to the British monarch. So again, you can see a lot of folks here with their signs. A lot of people out here told us that they've actually been here. They were here during the June rally. That was the first No Kings Day of action back in June, where around 15,000 people were out here in front of City Hall. And right now we're seeing thousands of people here. It's hard to tell exactly how many are out here, but I can tell you, again, as I mentioned, over the past hour or so, more and more people have started to show up. You can also see down here below, if we show you on the ground, a lot of folks have been bringing out chalk and writing messages on the sidewalk and on the pavement out here to spread that message. You can probably hear in the distance a little bit closer to where City Hall is, where there are some speakers talking with the microphone right in front of City Hall to the crowd out here. And we mentioned that people have been out here for a couple hours now. This event was supposed to start around 2 o'clock, but people were showing up here way before then. We saw people around 1:30, maybe even before 1:30, gathering, starting to get ready for this event, as well as the folks who were at the Discovery Green protests you were mentioning earlier, who marched their way from Discovery Green out here to the City Hall area. And we're making our way through the crowd a little bit. And as we approach this area in the distance, you can see some HPD mounted officers. We want to show you that just in front of us, some police officers are out here on their mounted patrols. We did talk to Houston Police a little earlier this week, who told us that they would have both uniformed officers as well as plainclothes officers here at the City Hall protests. And if we walk this way again, you can see just a lot more protesters, even across the street from where the City Hall building is. Now, a lot of folks here say that they wanted to come out here to make sure that their voices were heard, to make sure that they got their message across, and they really wanted to say that they're standing united. That's why we're seeing a lot of folks here from all walks of life. We're seeing people who are older, people who are younger, people bringing their families out. And as you were mentioning, Trayson, a lot of folks here really focusing on the fact that this is a peaceful demonstration. They want to make sure that they keep it that way. That was the case back in June, where again, nothing happened, but police say they just want to be out here to make sure that everything remains that way. We were looking through the crowd, and so far at this point, we haven't seen any counter protesters or anything like that. We do want to mention that obviously all the folks out here are protesting against President Donald Trump. On the other side of the aisle, however, several Republicans are calling this rally and other rallies like it across the country as, quote, hate America rallies. However, the protesters here tell me that they do not hate America. They love their country, and that's why they're fighting for it. That's why they're out here right now. And again, you can see a lot of people hold signs, a lot of different people out here. We did speak earlier to a couple of teachers, professor, another teacher. A lot of educators decided that they wanted to come out here. One professor told us that she wanted her students to also come out here just to spread their voice, to spread their message out here. And we are seeing a lot of signs, as I mentioned, a lot of people saying No Kings, a lot of people talking about ICE and saying that the immigration crackdown over the past several months has been really appalling. The last protest, as I mentioned, happened back in June. Since then, we have seen quite an escalation in immigration crackdown, in ICE enforcement across the country, as we've been covering on KHOU and as you've seen on the news as well. So a lot of people say that immigration has brought them out here. A lot of people say that just what they call the authoritarianism in Washington has brought them out here. They really want to make sure that they get their voices across. And we're walking a little bit closer to where we were just a bit ago. And again, you can see everywhere we've been walking, there have been people everywhere holding signs. This one saying liberty. A lot of people of all different walks of life coming out here. And if we walk this way, I want to show you more of these signs here. And I want to introduce you to a couple of the people that we've been talking with since we've been out here. If we come this way, we want to bring in Veronica and Daisy here. You both live in Houston. So first of all, just talk to me about what brought you out here today, why you wanted to make sure that you came here.
Yeah, so it brought us out today, here today, is just the divisive nature of what's going on in our government. It's just time that we had to stand up. We're all stressed out and we're wondering what's happening, and it's what's happening in the government. We're not having a government that's being, led by the people or for the people or representing the people. We have the government of one man and one man alone that's taking over media, taking over jobs, that's silencing the people that, that did not vote him in, when in actuality, when you vote for somebody for the United States presidency, that person should be representing all of us, all Americans, not just one group of people, not just your constituents, but all Americans. So that's what brought us out here today, just to make sure that we stood up united for our country, because we love our country. We don't hate our country, we love our country.
Yeah, we were talking about that a bit earlier. We know that some of the, Republicans have been calling this rally and others like it Hate America rally.
America rally, and that is totally contrary to the truth. Everybody is here today because we love our country, we love America, but we just want to have everybody represented, and that's not taking place right now. And as you can see, this is a very, very peaceful protest. There's people here. I just saw a sign of a little girl that says, "Thank you, Donald Trump, you just created the youngest activist here." So it's a very united front, and we just want, to be represented. We want to have our democracy, because this is a democracy. It's not an anarchy. It's not, just, a monarchy. It is a democracy, and we need to make sure people understand that, and that what we do live under is the Constitution of the United States of America, not just one man's word. So that's why we're here today.
Yeah, and I mean, similar question for you. We're seeing you hold your signs. A lot of people brought signs out here. Talk to us about the message you want to share with this sign and why you are out here today.
We just want to be united and show the people that we're peaceful. We're trying to do the things right way, and just come out, and we're basically sick of it.
Is there a particular issue? I know a lot of folks here are talking about several different things that they believe the Trump administration has been doing. Is there one issue in particular that's really brought you out that you really want to speak about?
Geez, everything. Basically, yeah, everything. You can pinpoint one thing.
Everything. So. Immigration, of course, voters' rights. There's been redistricting. Voters' rights, women's rights. There's been redistricting here in Houston, Texas, and I'm always told that I don't have a voice. And now, essentially, I don't have a voice because of the redistricting is silencing us. In Arizona, Adelita has not even been sworn in as of yet. And so, voters' rights, women's rights. Having immigration. Representing the people. There's been cuts in funding for education, for the Department of Health, the CDC, for pretty much everything that's here for us. Back in June, we had that very awful storm where we had floods, at the camp and everything. And now without FEMA funding, we're not going to be able to even protect our own people. And so that's totally contrary to the message that's being fed to us, that this person is standing up for America, when in actuality he is not. So it's everything.
Veronica and Daisy, thank you so much for chatting with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
And Veronica and Daisy were telling me earlier that this is their first time at this No Kings protest. They, in fact, were not here during the June protest. And I want to walk this way because I want to bring in a gentleman that we did speak with earlier who told us that he did come out here to the No Kings protest back in June. We have Justin here. You're holding an American flag. Just talk to me about what brought you out here today.
More than anything else, I wanted to be with my many neighbors here to show our pride in our country. And in fact, I brought 100 small American flags with me and handed them out to a lot of people who were very grateful to receive them. And I mean, there's different subgroups here who have different complaints, but mostly this is an expression of pride in our country and our desire not to see our democracy go down the proverbial tubes.
And you mentioned, pride in your country. You're obviously holding the American flag, handing out smaller American flags. A lot of people kind of on the other side of this are calling these rallies Hate America rallies. What's your response to that?
Well, I think that's quite absurd, actually. We're here because we love America and we hate to see her so tragically misled. I guess that wasn't a very articulate way of putting it, but a friend of mine who's a Republican commented to me that he's been going to No Kings rallies his whole life since he was a kid on July 4th every year. And I pointed out to him that if he properly understood what was going on today, that he would understand that we have the same values. And that is that we want to oppose the arbitrary rule of men who believe themselves to be above the law. No one is above the law.
And as I mentioned, as I was walking towards you, you told me you were here during the June rally.
Yes.
You're here now. Just kind of describe, does this feel any different? What's kind of the feeling here now compared to a few months ago?
That's a good question. It feels a lot the same to me, except maybe for a little more energy, maybe a little bigger crowd.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Justin is not the only one. We know several people that we've talked to have come out here who were here during that June rally, the first No Kings Day protest, which at that point was the largest protest against Donald Trump since he took office. Again, here we don't have an official number, but back in June, we know around 15,000 people came here to City Hall for that rally.